Alright, the RLCS regionals are starting up again, so let's do some predictions. NA and EU will have their regionals out on the same weekend, so I guess we can do both of these in one video. So let's try to make it somewhat quick. First up, we've got SSG against Seal. Seal is Panda, Percy, Knight. SSG reveal Chronic, Diaz. So you should probably expect SSG to win. Seal, not too bad of a roster there as well, because I feel like that, you know, they have a lot of players on there that can make a top 8 or something like that. Rebellion and Gas. Rebellion team will be hyped up a lot. First Killer Kofir LJ. Gas, Garaji, AJ Squishy. That which is a bit of a meme team, by the way. They're supposed to be retired or whatever and whatnot. So yeah, I'll give them a game because, you know, I feel like that's probably pretty nerve-wracking to play against, just knowing that they you know, they're supposedly retired and how it's embarrassing to lose a game against them. So, you know, whatever. I'll give them a game. 100x35. That's Crispy, Simas, and Psy. So that's the EU guys playing CRL in North America against Unreal Nightmare, Druid, Gyro, and Life. I saw a terrible team, but honestly, I feel like 100x35 is a better team there. So I'll give that to them. To the EU guys, Lotus 8, which is Nolly. That's right, Nolly's making a bit of a comeback. I imagine he's still, although I get that he didn't actually retire, but I imagine he's still, you know, not taking the game too seriously after, you know, what, a year break from Rocket League. So at least competing, and I'm pretty sure he was not playing Rocket League for quite a while. How long exactly, I don't know, but yeah, he's back in CRL, or he is in CRL, which I think inspired him to compete here, but I imagine it won't be to the same seriousness as before. That being said, against Silenced, they could probably win. Yeah, I feel like they're definitely favorites against them. I'm going to give them a 3-0 there, to be honest. Lotus 8, I feel like that's a team that can definitely make a top 8. A top 4, though, is probably stretching it for Nolly. And to be fair, teammates are honestly not too bad here. Expert and Wellis, that's not a terrible team at all. Anyways, let's do upper bracket, why not? Space Station Rebellion. I feel like Space Station should be worse than Shopify. I heard Shopify didn't have the greatest quality. Yeah, they lost against 100x, which is interesting, but I'm still gonna give it to Shopify. We'll say game 5, but I'll say Shopify's better there. I think 100x against Lotus, honestly, 100x against Lotus, I feel like I have to give this to 100x. I don't want to be biased towards Lotus, so I'm gonna see 100x win that, but I think that should be a competitive series. Lower bracket, Seal against Gas. Seal, Panda, Percy, how did they do? They went 3-2 actually. They lost against Team Silenced. Okay. And they lost against Redacted. Okay. Yeah, Sealant, that didn't do too well in the quali, to be fair. Gas did do not too bad. Dare I say Gas win this? I'm gonna say Gas win this. Game 5, Gas. Victory. Because why not? Unreal Nightmare against Silenced. I'm gonna say Silenced wins that 3-0. Why not? Actually, yeah, whatever. Don't care. Lotus against Gas. That's another tough one. I'm gonna give that to Lotus. Bang. Nolly into the top 8. Look at that. Space Station Silenced. I'm gonna give that to Space Station. And then I should probably switch my camera around for this. Like that, I guess. Genji against Foot. The new Foot team is Cheese, Frosty, Sosa. Genji have got on Rise to replace Cheese. I'm gonna say 3-1 there for Genji. They also made Worlds, whatever, majors. So the Genji are obviously a good team for North America. What's this kitten? Shuffles Kittens. RG relating Wave and Speed. Okay, so the second EU team. Matey, what is the new Matey roster? Eris, Devo, Mech. That is a good roster. That is a good roster. Would they lose against Genji? I'm gonna give this to Shuffle Kittens. Just about. Energy against Feastabonium. Energy, you know, don't need to really talk about them. You know, the world champions. S5 Cosmic Adam and Hazo. I don't really expect anything out of them. Oh, I keep missing it. 3-0. Redacted. Waveview 2-piece Talk. They also made Worlds out of the last year's qualifier, although that was with Retals, not Talk. Tople. Where's Tople? Calm, Creams, and Parth. That's not a bad team either. They went 3-2. They lost against Nolly's team. Okay. I'm going to give that to Redacted then. 3-1. Foot against M80. Ooh, what a series that is. M80 against Foot. Frosty Sosa. How did they do in the quali? I don't see them for some reason. Am I blind? Oh, they're here. Lost against Tople. Lost against Shuffles Kittens. It's not the greatest look, is it? It's not the greatest look. Barely got through Kraken. Oh. Was Kraken. Kraken sees. Not the best team. Not the best team. I'm gonna say M80 win that because Foots are just clearly not looking good. I feel like they should be better than what they have been, but yeah, they're just not looking good. Top layer, I'm gonna give victory here. Genji, I'm gonna give them the win as well against Shuffle Kittens. I'll say 3-1. Redacted, they shouldn't win against Energy. But ooh, M80. This looks like an exciting roster though, I won't lie. But I'm still gonna say Redacted win that against M80. Shuffle Kittens, I'll say they win against Tople as well there. Okay, so let me get my camera back out of the way. For the playoffs, then Energy for 1, why not? Genji against Rebellion, exciting match. I'm interested to see how Rise might improve Genji, but I feel like Shopify should be expected to win that, so I'll say 4-2. Space Station, I'll say they win closely against Shuffle Kittens, because an EU team's never easy to win against. Especially not that team, such like a no-nonsense EU team, really, so... so SSG for 1 against 100x. Redacted should be winning against Lotus 8. I'm gonna say 4-2. Genji against Redacted. I'm gonna say 4-2 here again. For Genji this time. So there's my top 4, I guess, for NA. Rebellion, Space Station, Energy, and Genji. Pretty basic. I assume everyone kind of has this as their top 4, to be honest. But yeah, and then Rebellion against SSG. I think I already had them play. I did. I'll say 4-2. Genji against Energy. Why not? Let's keep it somewhat close. And then Genji, they stomp Rebellion 4-1 in the grand final. Pretty boring prediction here for North America, so let's go over to EU. Okay, Vitality, Zen, Exotic Stizzy will be playing against Sonics. Toxic Mike Bo Smokes should always pose a bit of a challenge, but Vitality should be winning that. Pina Low Driven. Who is Pina Low Driven? Golfs, Ethan, and Pluvo. Dreifach Resets. Forceful, Neon, and Motion. What are these teams? What am I looking at here? I feel like Pina Low Driven is meant to be slightly better. They went 3-1. And they went 3-1 as well. Okay, well, I'm going to give this to Pina Low Driven. 3-1. Magnifico against Gentle Bench. Magnifico, that's Atomic Reserves Talks. I saw that they did do good in the qualifier, so that's cool to see for them. Atomic back on top, and a Gentle Bench, that's Yujin, Rados, and Metzer, which is a pretty good team, so that's interesting. I don't know what to do here. Gentle bench. Where did they go? Where's Gentle bench? 3-2. They lost against Novo. Not a bad team, to be fair. Lost against NIP. Not a bad team either. Okay, that's a really tough one to say. I'm gonna honestly say Gentle bench win this game 5, but that could go either way. Today's one bruv. I don't even care who they're playing against. Oh, well, I do care who they're playing against, but I feel like, you know, I just rate this team so high right now. HB, Acro, Tempo. I feel like that's just a really good roster. Hogan mode, you know, not bad, but, you know, it's 2 days, one bruv. Vitality. 3-0, why not? It's Vitality, it's Zen. Gentle bench against 2 days, one bruv. Honestly, I'm gonna say 2 days, one bruv win that. Pretty high on them right now. Sonics against Dreyfus. Okay, whatever. I don't really. I'll say Sonics win that 3-1. Why not? Magnifico, Hogan mode. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say Magnifico. Sorry, Hogan mode. Hogan mode, bro. Gentle bench. I'll give them the win here. And Magnifico. Bang. There we go. That's the first group. Move us around. Group B. Karmine Corp against Gentlemates. Gentlemates had a really bad qualifier. I saw they went 3-2. But in the off-season, I think they have looked the best out of Europe. So this is not like an obvious series to go, you know, to say where it should go. I'm honestly going to go Gentlemates. I think Gentlemates will be slightly better. Nova against Cloud. Nova, we did see the Cloud J-Wade's badness of Wozzy, and they did pretty good, actually, I think, last season. I think Badness had like a top 8 somewhere, so that, and J-Wade, so that shouldn't be too bad. Did Wozzy make one as well? I don't know. But yeah, the Cloud is actually a team kind of on the up, I think. That being said, I'd still imagine Novo should win. So yeah, there we go. Ninja Pajamas, Joris, Sierra R, and Oli. Exciting team for this season. TKS, Thider, Scream, and Kyrian. Not a bad team. Kyrian, you know, makes me go way back to when Solary promoted into the RLCS via RLRS. That's how, you know, that's how OG Kyrian is. He was in RLRS and qualified for the RLCS. Although that's when, you know, the open era started. Right after that. Okay, I'm gonna give that to Ninjas. GK, GHT, TMS, Hyder, Grammar. Not bad, but not GK level, unfortunately. Then Gentlemates Novo. I'm gonna give this Gentlemates. Ninjas GK. That is a tough one. That is a tough one. Something tells me that Ninjas is gonna win that, unfortunately. I say unfortunately because I do like GK. But, yeah. Dory is the GOAT. Karmine Corp against Cloud. 3. I'm gonna give them a game, why not? And then TKS, who's that again? TH2. Okay, I'm gonna say TKS win that. GK against Karmine Corp. Wow, someone has to go out from those two. That's tough. Fatira and Natal. You know what? I'm gonna say it's gonna be a shock against Karmine Corp and GK get through. Regional 1 shock. Why not? Realistically, I think Karmine Corp should be making it through, and they should probably be winning against GK as well. But yeah, that's just a really harsh group, so it's perfectly possible, I think. Novo TKS. I'm gonna say Novo win that, and it go into top 8. Bang. Okay, here's the bracket. Vitality against Gentlemates. Gentlemates continue the momentum. 4-3. Super tight series. Ninjas against 2 Danes, 1 Bruv. Again, it's going to be a really tight series. Immaculate. 2 Game 7s. Magnifico against Novo. I'm going to say Novo win that. In another Game 7. There we go. GK Gentle Bench. GK win that. But not in a Game 7. It's going to be Game 6. Vitality Novo. I'm going to have Vitality 4-1. 2 Danes, 1 Bruv against GK. I think GK will win that. And then here we go. Here's the top 4. It's not Karmine Corp. It's GK in there with Gentlemates, Vitality, and Ninja Pajamas. I don't actually think these will be the 4 top teams. I imagine Karmine Corp should be ahead of GK here. And then, yeah, Gentlemates, Vitality. And I guess right now I have Ninjas and Pajamas as the 4th team. But yeah. Okay. Vitality I'm gonna have winning against Ninjas. Gentlemates I have winning against GK. And then I'm gonna have Gentlemates destroying Vitality in the grand final, and Archie becomes European champion. All right, I guess that's my predictions. If I didn't show already, here's Gentlemates. It's Archie, Nas, and Oski. So they've gotten Archie instead of Verdosen. This used to be NIP last season. So yeah, they've been looking pretty good in the off season. This qualifier has been a bit shaky, so maybe this is a hot take. It probably is a bit of a hot take, but that should be exciting. I'm curious to see who actually ends up on top. I'm not too confident in any of these predictions, really, but decided to make them anyways. Anyways, that will be the end of the video. So if you guys enjoyed, like and subscribe. And let me know your thoughts. Who's going to win? Who are some of your surprise picks? Who's going to qualify from Europe and North America? Let me know. And maybe from the other regions as well. I'd be interested to see what you guys think. Anyways, I'll see you later.